Today po, we're going to continue the word of the day. And it's so interesting po because we're now in letter B. And our chosen word of the day is biopsy. B-I-O-P-S-Y, biopsy. So magpakilala muna tayo. I'm Dr. Ana York Bondoc. Our program is called Libreng Konsulta. And we're here to make science and medicine easily understandable po. Hopefully, sa lahat po ng Pilipino. Ako po, I'm a pulmonologist and an internal medicine specialist. So sa pulmon po, lungs. Ano? I also do ICU, which is intensive care unit medicine. I'm the wife of a mayor, kaya knowledgeable po ako sa barangay matters. Ako po ay isang 3-term congressman and the mommy po of an 8-year-old. So today, para ginawa po natin yung word of the day, kasi ang dami-dami pong binibitawan ng mga words ang mga doktor. Ang bilis-bilis pa kong magsalita. I know that because doktor ako. And later on, I found out na kalahati pala ng sinabi ng doktor ay hindi po nagkaintindihan with the patient because the doctor is presuming or akala po ni doc naintindihan mo yung sinasabi niya. Ikaw naman, nakakahiya naman hong magtanong. Baka akalain pa wala kang alam or nakaka-intimidate or dire-diretso ho yung sinasabi ni Doc, nakakahiya naman hong sabihin, Sir, sandali lang, hindi po namin naintindihan kung ano yung pinagsasasabi nyo. So to help you po understand the process, we have chosen a very common procedure po. And it happens to almost everyone at a certain point or may kilala po kayo na tinatawag po nilang na biopsy. Okay? So let's project the word of the day. It's biopsy. So guys, if you've ever had a biopsy or may kilala po kayong na biopsy, join us po para po malaman po natin what is this word at paano po ginagamit, anong nangyayari, bakit nagba-biopsy. Okay? Para pag sinabi ni Doc, you need a biopsy, alam mo na kung ano mangyayari. Okay? So let's start. Follow us po. We have a YouTube channel. It's called Dr. Ana York Bondoc. Please, padagdagan naman ng subscribers doon. Okay? Kulang pa ho kami. Secondly, you are welcome po to put your questions on biopsy, COVID or non-COVID po sa ilalim. Promise, babasahin po namin at sasagutin po after our short talk. Okay? And kung gusto niyo pong bumati ng happy birthday, ilagay niyo lang po sa ilalim. Okay? So let's start. The word is called biopsy. How to pronounce biopsy? Hindi po biopsy ha, hindi. Biopsy. That is also the pronunciation po sa US. I'm going to go for a biopsy. Or the doctor advised me to have a biopsy. O sinabihan po ako ni doc na kailangan ko pong mag-biopsy. At parang Pilipino ata yung biopsy, ano? Kasi ang pangit eh. Sinabi po ni Doc, kailangan ko ng biopsy. Pwede rin naman. Ano? So, yun po, the term biopsy, it's both a noun and a verb. Noun, my biopsy results. So, yun, my biopsy results, I am waiting for them. Verb, we are going, I am going to biopsy you. So, yon, that is a noun and a verb. Okay? So, ano pong meaning nung, sino ba nagsasabi nun? Two things. Yung doktor, sasabihin, kailangan po kayo mabiopsy. Yung pasyente, I'm going to undergo a biopsy. Okay? So, ano po ba? What's the translation of biopsy in Tagalog? Wala ho siyang direct translation eh. Ang naiisip ko lang po talaga, at kuminsan ginagamit po namin when I was in PGH, when talking to patients, sinasabi po nila, Doc, ano po yung biopsy? So sinasabi ko po, ang biopsy po, kukuha po tayo ng laman. Kukuha po tayo ng laman. Okay? Wala akong single term eh. Parang wala po. Kasi mali ho yung sabihin, operahin eh. Hindi po ganun eh. So, kukuha po tayo ng laman. And pag-aaralan po natin yung laman na makuha, it's a small bite, maliit po na kagat sa problem area po nating nakikita. At kukuha po tayo ng laman, yung laman na yun po ay padadala po natin sa laboratorio at susuriin po natin para malaman po natin kung ano po ang inyong sakit. Okay? So bakit ho? What are the reasons? So yun po, kukuha sila ng laman. Later on, pag-uusapan natin why, how, and ano pong ginagawa sa laman after. Okay? So first of all, puntahan natin, since alam na natin yung what, kukuha ng laman, puntahan natin si why. Bakit ho sila kumukuha ng laman in the first place? Ikaklaro ko lang kasi may kasi letter B tayo, letter A, one of the choices for letter A was autopsy. So, ang biopsy po, ginagawa po sa buhay, okay? Yung kumukuha ng laman, yung autopsy po, sa patay. Kumukuha din po ng laman doon. But it's a different procedure altogether. An autopsy po is done on dead persons, usually to find out po why they died, okay? Kumukuha din po sila ng laman sa mga ganon. But a biopsy po is performed on living persons. Living persons po yung biopsy para malaman po kung ano po yung sakit ng tao. Okay. So nalinaw ko na, biopsy po sa buhay po yon. Autopsy sa patay. Okay? So question, ano po ba ang pwedeng i-biopsy? Lahat po ng parte ng katawan ng tao, from yung laman po, your skin outside, no, and going inside the body, lahat po, almost everything, tanungin mo sa akin, pwede pong mabiopsy. Bukol po, binabiopsy. Sometimes may nakapa po, they say may nakakapa po tayong bukol. Sometimes the term is mass. Sinasabi po tumor. In the US po, the term is really mass. No? So, meron po silang nakapang mass or nakapambukol. Or in the US, they say we can palpate a mass. Ano po bang meaning ng palpate? Yung nakakapa po, no? In the US, they say we're palpating a mass and we want to biopsy it. Dito po sa Pilipinas, they say may nakakapa pong bukol si Doc, kailangan niyo pong mabiopsy. Okay, so all parts of the body. Yung nasa labas at yung nasa loob. Pati ho yung everything from your, let's start there's a brain biopsy. We can biopsy portions of eyes, ears, nose, throat, nababiopsy po yan lahat. If they cannot see it, they will use po, sorry, ang ingay po ng mga aso dito. If they cannot reach it, they will use an instrument po. Head to toe po natin puntahan yan, okay? Dito po sa chest, we very commonly do neck node biopsies po. Biopsy ng leeg, very common. Biopsy po of the lung, tuturok po sila o bubukas. Binabiopsy din po ang ating liver, atay. Ang dami pong binabiopsy na atay. Kidney, binabiopsy po from the back because the kidney is lying po dito sa likod. They do biopsy the kidney. Connected to the kidney, yung ating pong kidney, urethra, and bladder, binabiopsy din po yan. Going down to the genital tract, sa females po, they do ovarian, they do uterine, siniscrape po yung uterus, they do cervical punch biopsy, kumakagat po ng laman sa kwelyo ng matres. Sa lalaki naman po, yes, there are masses in the penis, testicular biopsy meron. Sa paa, skin, muscle, bone marrow, pati kuko pwedeng mabiopsy. Okay? So basically everything pwedeng mabiopsy. Okay. So yon, malinaw, lahat pwedeng mabiopsy. Pati yung mga nasa loob-looban po ng katawan natin, pwede pong mabiopsy. Okay? Why do we biopsy? Because we see something na sa tingin po natin, hindi po dapat nasa loob ng katawan ng tao. Okay? We do biopsies because we see something abnormal. May narinig ho ba kayo, Reyna? Our dogs are terrible.
Well, it happened to Tora. We are working from home.
Sorry talaga.
Yes.
Yan ang nangyayari pag nag-aalaga ka ng aspin. So, okay. Bakit ho ba nagbabiopsy? Okay, so I went through the head to toe biopsy. Okay, pati bone marrow, kaya po nilang biopsy. Meron din pong ang dugo ba binabiopsy? Well, we take blood and we look at it under the microscope. So technically, it's like a biopsy pero hindi rin. Sa dugo po, ang binabiopsy po talaga is lymph nodes and bone marrow. So masakit po ang bone marrow biopsy. Okay? Bone marrow. Sa tadyang po kinukuha yon. Okay? So bakit nga ba nagbabiopsy? Kasi po, may nakita po sila, whether it be in our brain, whether it will be in our lungs, whether it will be in our kidneys or in our livers, or may silang nakakapa na sa tingin po nila, it should not be there. And gusto po nilang malaman kung ano po yun nakikita, either through an X-ray, through a sonogram or an ultrasound, either through a CT scan and MRI, or just by plain fingers alone, they see something, the doctor sees something that should not be in your body. Most likely po, tinatawag po nilang bukol. Most of the stuff that is biopsied is actually a mass. Though meron pong mga cancers na kalat, like spreading throughout the organ, there is no one mass, pwede rin hong mabiopsy yung ganon. Okay? So, ba't nagbabiopsy? Meron ho silang nakikita na sa tingin po nila, wala dapat sa katawan nyo, at gusto po nilang malaman kung ano po yon. Okay? So, next question. Paano nga ho ba gumagawa ng biopsy? How do we do a biopsy? Well, there are many kinds po of biopsies. Let's start po from the obvious. Our skin, okay? One of the most common things po to be biopsied is a mole or yung tinatawag po nating nunal because there is such a thing called skin cancer. Kinukuha po yun, umuumbok po yung mole. They usually do, they kakagatin po yun with an instrument. It's called a punch biopsy po of our skin. And it is very commonly done po for moles. And also kung may mga weird rash ho kayo na hindi po nila malaman, they will do po a punch biopsy. Kung meron naman hong scaling, pwede rin hong scraping biopsy, padadali rin po sa laboratorio. Okay. How about lung biopsy, doktora? Very common. How does this happen? Usually po, sa lung biopsy naman, di naman po natin nakakapa yung ating baga. Nasa loob. Okay? So usually, marami po sa atin, nagpapa-x-ray every year. Requirement po yan na maraming trabaho. Teachers require an x-ray every year. Pag may nakita po silang bukol sa inyong x-ray or kakaiba pong itsura ng inyong lungs, you may be ordered to have a CT scan. After the CT scan, kung talagang nandun po talaga yung bukol, you might undergo what we call a lung biopsy. Paano ho ba iba-biopsy yung baga? First of all, it's possible to do a needle biopsy. Tutusukin po yon from the outside. From dito, tutusok lang po sila. But don't worry, you will have a lot of anesthesia. Hindi nyo po malalaman. Another way po to do a lung biopsy, may ipapasok po silang tube. It's called a bronchoscope. Ano po siya? Masisilip po nila yung baga nila through that tube. Bababa po sila, lulunukin nyo, papasok po sa baga. Again, you will be asleep. Makikita po nila yung looban po ng inyong baga. Kung may nakabara po doon, they may wish to biopsy that. Okay? So, ganun po. Another way to biopsy, sinabi ko na nga po, needle, bronchoscopic. The third po is open. Pwede pong pumutol. They can do an operation, tingnan po yung bukol, kunin po, and that is what we call an open or a surgical biopsy. Okay? Puntahan po natin yung breast. Very common. Paano po nangyayari? May nakapakang bukol, they will do a breast biopsy. Nagpamammogram po kayo, may nakita pong suspicious, tutusukin po yun with a needle. That is called a fine needle aspiration biopsy. Kung malaki po yung kukunin nila, a big punch, that is called a core biopsy. Kasi it will reach po the core of the mass or yung core po ng ating tumor in the breast. Okay? How do we biopsy po? How do we biopsy our brain? Usually open po yun. That's an open brain biopsy. Okay? Fourth, how do we biopsy po yung atin pong tiyan and esophagus? Kasi nasa loob, this is the esophagus po, yung tiyan nasa, paano yun? Well, again, palulunukin po kayo, it's called a, it's called an endoscopy. Lulunukin nyo po yun, you're asleep, sisilipin po, there's a camera at the end, sisilipin po yung tiyan nyo, and kung may nakikita pong abnormal doon, may ipapasok po, kakagat ng laman, and that is called po a stomach or a biopsy. Kung esophageal po, may nakitang laman, babiopsy din po. And that's it. Paano po yung liver biopsy? Inu-ultrasound po. Yes, biopsies can be guided by the CT scan or the ultrasound. Usually liver po, ultrasound, may nakikitang bukol. Ayon, needle biopsy po coming from outside. How do we biopsy our colon? Bituka po yon, large intestine. Ayan, yan ang tinatawag na colonoscopic biopsy. Tulog po kayo, may ipapasok po silang, it's a long tube with a camera. Yun po yung colonoscope or colonoscopy. And then, titingnan po nila, dadaan po sila sa inyong buong bituka. Pag may nakita po silang nakalabas doon, kukunin po nila using the scope and send it to the laboratory. Yun po yung colonoscopy or the biopsy po of our large intestine. How do we biopsy po the cervix? Ayun po, it's through an OB-GYN po. Kakagat po sila sa kwelyo ng matres. Okay? How do we biopsy the kidney, the urethra, and the bladder? Dadaan po yun sa ari po ng lalaki o sa babae. They will put a very small scope. Don't worry, hindi ganun kasakit. Okay? Titingnan po yung bladder nyo, may nakita, kagat, biopsy. Kidney, the kidney as I mentioned earlier, coming from the back or the side. Hihiga po kayo sa inyong tiyan, sometimes being guided by either a sonogram or a CT scan. Nakita yung bukol, they will drop a needle, kidney biopsy. Okay? Bone marrow, sa tadyang po yan with a lot of anesthesia. Puputol, hihila po sila doon. Muscle, kung saan po yung muscle, magbabiopsy. We frequently do kidney biopsies po, not only to see kidney masses, pero kung minsan po, we want to know kung ano po yung estado ng buong kidney. Is sira na ba? Paano po ba? They often do kidney biopsies to find out how serious po ang inyong kidney disease. They also do liver biopsies to find out po kung gaano po ka-serious ang inyo pong tinatawag pong liver cirrhosis o yung pagkasira po ng inyong atay. Okay, so that's how they do the biopsies all over the body po yan. Kung malalim po, aabutin using an instrument. They either do fine needle po. They can do a core biopsy, mas malaki po yung kagat. Fine needle, fine nga eh. Core, malaki ang kagat. And lastly, open or surgical biopsy. Bubuksan ho talaga yung katawan para po makuha po yung laman. Okay? So what do we do after the biopsy? Nagising na kayo. Tanungin nyo, Doc, tapos na ho ba yung biopsy ko? Yes, tapos na. Pwede ka nang umuwi. So what are we going to find out? We have to wait po for the biopsy results. Saan ba pinadala yung laman mo? Okay? Pinadala po yon to what we call po a pathology laboratory. P-A-T-H-O-L-O-G-Y. Pathology po. Ano? Yun po, the doctors there are called pathologists. At ang trabaho po nila ay susuriin po nila yung laman po ng inyong biopsy. There are two ways to do it. Actually, dati po there were two ways. Now there's even the molecular way. Dati po yung tinatawag po nilang gross. Ano itsura po talaga, lalo na if they take out a big portion, ganon, core, open biopsy, ganon po. So they describe it po the entire specimen. That's the gross specimen. And meron po tayong microscopic specimen o pumuputol po sila and they look at it under the microscope to find out po kung may cancer o wala. You might ask me, Doktora, why are they staining? Anong meaning ng staining? Sometimes po, when we have cancer cells po, they respond to various chemicals and stains, and that is the reason po why we stain certain biopsies. Para lumitaw po kung anong klaseng cancer. Usually used po in blood cancers, okay? Lymphoma, ayun po, leukemia, they stain po sa mga ganon. Okay? How long does it take you to get the biopsy result? Yung biopsy po, usually madali lang gawin yon, na half day, iba turok lang eh. The results, sometimes it takes po maybe 1 day or 2 days kasi po babasahin, ayan, pathology, babasahin po ng isang pathologist. So it will take time. Okay? So where does the biopsy go? After the biopsy, it goes to the pathology laboratory where it is read by the pathologist. Okay? And then after that, ano bang malalaman natin talaga? What kind of things can we know from a biopsy? Sinabi ko na nga po, we can find out if our liver is cirrhotic. We can find out yung anong stage na po ng ating kidney disease. Malalaman din po, the most important reason usually to do a biopsy is to answer the question, cancer po ba o hindi? Sometimes po, we can find out kung if we biopsy, for example, we know we have lung cancer, we biopsy the lymph nodes, alam po natin yung staging. Whether you are stage 1, the mildest, to stage 4, kalat na po. So, We also do, halimbawa, alam na po natin na cancer, gusto po nating i-stage o gusto po nating malaman kung gaano na po kakalat po sa inyong cancer, and we can use a biopsy to do that. Another thing that a biopsy can tell us po is if it is infectious. Ano po yung meaning ng if it is infectious? Kung infection po yon. There are some biopsies, let's say, I'm a lung expert po, no? Merong mga, mga bukol po sa baga, pag tinurok mo, akala mo po lung cancer. Tinusok mo po, pag tingin po under the microscope, aba, TB. Okay? So the biopsy, when we send it to the pathology lab, it can tell us if it's cancer or not cancer. Kung not cancer po, it is possible for it to be an infection also. So a biopsy can also tell us if yung bukol na yon, nangyayari po yon, if the bukol is an infection. Okay? Another weird biopsy result po, kung minsan, you biopsy something po sa intestines or even sa brain, there are situation, pag tusok mo, pala, parasitism. Ano yung parasitism? Worms. Okay? It's so scary, but you can biopsy worms and it's not pretty. Super scary po pag tingin mo, oh my God, it's a worm. But it happens. Ganun po. Merong mga ascaris balls, histoplasmosis, yan po yon. You can biopsy infections, bacteria, fungi, virus, and worse. Talaga ayoko. Worms. Nangyayari po talaga yon. Another weird thing that you can biopsy is actually foreign body. Ano yung meaning ng foreign body? Halimbawa po, may nalanghap po kayong like a part of a bead or ganun po. It can be covered by the body and then looks weird, kinuha po nila. It's not pala part of the body. It's a foreign body. Okay? So yun po yun. So next time you undergo a biopsy, pag sinabi na po ni Doc, Mrs. Sir, meron po kaming please project the word biopsy again. Sasabihin po ni Doc, Ma'am, Sir, sorry, may nakakapa po kami or may nakikita po kami sa x-ray o may lumalabas po sa inyong mammogram or kailangan nyo po ng isang colonoscopy at kung may makita po tayo, kakagat po tayo ng laman and we will do a biopsy. Okay? So sa inyo po lahat, I hope it's kind of clear what is a biopsy. It's a very, very common procedure. And ngayon po, alam na natin, kaya po tayo gumagawa ng isang biopsy. Pwede ho bang i-project yung biopsy? Yung mga nakikinig po, moderator. Yan, thank you so much. Biopsy. We undergo biopsies po. It's one of the most common. And at least po, I hope you know, next time, pag sinabi po ng doc, why you need to undergo a biopsy, tanong nyo po, Doc, cancer po ba? Kaya po ba tayo magbabiopsy? And at least you know what they are talking about. So next time you have a biopsy, it's not necessarily bad news. Huwag ho kayo magpanic. Marami naman hong biopsy na lumalabas po na hindi cancer. Marami din hong biopsies na lumalabas ng mga infection. But the most important po, kung may nakikita po yung doktor na hindi po dapat sa inyong katawan, kailangan po tayong kumagat ng laman kasi hindi po natin pwedeng iwanan lang po yun ng ganoon. And so you or your patient or your relative may have to undergo po a biopsy. So sa inyo po lahat, I hope you learned the word of the day, biopsy. Maraming salamat po and good afternoon. Thanks. Rains, thanks for moderating so well. Ang gaganda.
Bati na po tayo, Doktora.
Thank you, that's true. Okay, guys, ikaw, Reina, I will ask you first. Have you ever undergone a biopsy or has anybody in your family ever undergone a biopsy? At saka kung may biopsy story po kayo, you can put it down, I will read it. And then magkwentuhan po tayo ng konti about your experience. Ikaw, Reina, na biopsy ka na ba or anyone that you know? Or have you helped anyone do a biopsy? Ganon.
I had undergone one, Doktora.
Okay naman, ka pa. Oo.
Yeah, on my left armpit, there was a bukol there, and nagkaroon ako ng fever noon. So they thought it's just some parang lang, they thought parang yung fever ko is just because of infection. So they saw yung bukol ko sa my armpit and then they said they need to see it kasi medyo matigas.
Okay.
So it happened, it turned out na yung palang mga follicles natin sa armpit, hindi lumabas yung hair.
Okay.
So,
Yes, okay.
umikot siya ng umikot, sa sweat glands, dun siya nag-form ng malaking bilog. It's as big as a thumb. Yun. So it turned out wala naman siyang
Oo naman, hindi naman serious. And I think that's the most important, that it was not cancer, di ba?
Yes.
And we are grateful for that.
However,
ano nangyari?
However, Doktora, they said, buti na lang, hindi it didn't tangle dun sa mga lymph nodes, because we have a lot of lymph nodes sa underarm area. So buti na lang daw.
Nakakalap yung breast cancer. Oo, yes. Buti na lang.
So if ever daw na gano'n na nangyari, it might have been worse. But thank God. Kaya ito lang yung tip ko sa lahat. Nagkaroon siya ng ganun because of me. I'm doing bunot before.
Ay, oo, true. Yung mga hair follicles, we don't advise that.
Mas maganda pa daw na i-shave or what do you call that? Ipa-wax.
Electrolysis or what.
Yes. Kasi napuputol pala siya sa loob. Doktora, we don't know.
Yeah.
Yun.
But the most important is, hindi siya cancer. Yun. So, I'm happy for you, Vince, that was it. So, ako naman, i-share ko yung biopsy story ko. May nakapa po akong bukol sa leeg. And I wanted to expound on what Reyna said, no? Kung may napapakakapa po kayong bukol, lalo na po kung matigas at hindi po masakit, really, please go to the doctor kasi po likely that may need to be biopsied. Wag po kayo mag-alaga ng bukol sa katawan as they always say in PGH. Wag po kayo mag-alaga ng bukol. Kailangan pong mabiopsy yun. Lalo na po kung matagal na, matigas, no fever, at lumalaki. Those are the signs po of possible cancer and you really need to go po and have a biopsy. So, maganda yung sinabi ni Reyna na they wanted to biopsy kasi medyo matigas. That is true. Pag tumitigas po talaga yung bukol, we want more to biopsy it just to make sure that it's not cancer. So, for those who are scared of biopsy, hindi po masakit yun. Gumagamit po sila ng anesthesia, okay? 99.9% of biopsies, I would say para kayong kinagat ng langgam, na malaking langgam. I cannot say na it's painless. Kasi wala namang painless talaga. Sorry.
Me naman, Doktora, I was sleeping that time. They made me sleep.
Okay. Yun na nga. You'll be asleep naman pero talagang the most important, kung may bukol po kayo sa katawan o may nakakapa sa breast, maraming nahihiya, dito po sa thyroid, marami ring naaalanganin, pwede rin mabiopsy yung thyroid. Please go to the doctor to have a biopsy. Kasi that's really the safest. Another thing I wanted to add, sabi nga po nila, in cancer, there is a saying, tissue is the issue. What does that mean? Kung wala pong tissue, or kung wala pong, kasi when the biopsy is a sample of human tissue. Okay? It's a sample of tissue. Not tissue paper, tissue, same spelling, but ang meaning po ng tissue sa Tagalog po, laman. Okay, laman siya talaga. Okay, laman siya talaga. Okay, so basically, you cannot be told that you have cancer kung wala kang biopsy. Wag po kayong maniniwala sa mga tao na titingnan lang po yung x-ray nyo, CT scan. I don't care what it looks like. Sasabihin, likely cancer, but you cannot tell for sure unless you have a biopsy. Okay, we also biopsy nga pala. Yes, kasi maraming nananakot, oh my God, cancer na yan. And then they sell you all sorts of things na mga herbal drinks, ganun. No, until you are biopsied officially, you do not have cancer. You have a CT scan that might look like cancer. You have results that might look like cancer, but until the biopsy results come back, hindi ka po proven to have cancer. That's very important, okay? That is very, very, very important. And I would like everyone, if someone tells you, may cancer ka, tanong mo, bakit? Na-biopsy na ba ako? Yun po yun. Okay, another thing I forgot to mention, people sometimes biopsy also to find out the type of chemotherapy that we will give. This is very, very important po. And that's why we have stains. This is very, very, and molecular po yung staining, malalim po yan. That's a mga molecular reactions. This is very, very important po in breast cancer because we need to know po yung markers. What's the meaning of markers? May mga chemical markers and molecular markers po ang mga tumor. Para malaman po natin kung ano po yung dapat na chemotherapy na ibibigay sa inyo, kailangan pong mabiopsy yun at kailangan pong pag-aralan. So kung meron ho magbibigay sa inyo ng chemotherapy na hindi po kayo na biopsy, mali po yun. Mali po yun. Okay? Never ever allow yourself to receive chemotherapy without knowing your proper cancer diagnosis and without having a biopsy. Okay? Guys, wag na wag.
Doctora, I would just like to share, di ba before, I had already shared the story. I would have to agree with you on saying na kahit po sa mga laboratory, pagka nakita niyo po yung results nyo at sinabi po doon, nasa stage 2 cancer na kayo, wag na wag po kayong maniniwala. Diyos ko, gumuho ang mundo. Just to share, guys, gumuho ang mundo ko. Tumawag ako kay doktora in the middle of the night, 11 p.m. Ngal ako, iyak ako ng iyak because I told her, doktora, mawawala na ako. Doktora just told me, bakit nagpa-biopsy ka na ba? Yun lang ang sinagot po niya sa akin. And then, okay na. Kasi tama naman, kasi dun sa result, until na-biopsy ka at until nakita yun ng doctor mo, main doctor, guys, main doctor. You can have second, third opinion, pero kuhanin mo muna kung sino yung nagsabi sa'yo na magpa-lab test ka. So, bumalik ka sa kanya, ipabasa mo. Ayun, doon ako naliwanagan na this is some sort of, pasensya na po, medyo
technical difficulties.
Yeah. Katuloy ko lang habang nagkakaroon ng technical difficulties si Doktora. Doon ko nalaman na hindi lahat ng lab report paniniwalaan po. Totoo po yun.
Okay. Wait lang po. Babalik po tayo. Okay, sorry. So, yes, don't believe anyone. Don't panic. Don't start screaming. Kung may nakita po silang mass, tumor, whatever, sa inyong pong CT scan, ultrasound, hanggat hindi pa po na biopsy, wala pa po kayong cancer. Okay? So, bumati po tayo and let's pick up a few questions. I hope there are questions.
From Miss Patricia Uhana. Good afternoon, Doc.
Hi, Patricia.
From Miss Maria Gina Bahilio Gundao Tanza. Hello, Dr. Anna.
Hi.
From one of our It's in Japanese character. Hi, Doc Anna. Kamusta po? Watching from Japan with love.
Ganda naman. May Japanese character pa. Okay, go.
From Miss Vicky Lazatin Sunga. Good afternoon, Doktora.
Hi, Ma'am Vicky.
From Miss Barbie Taruk Olap. Gandang hapon po, Doktora.
Hi, Barbie. How are you?
From Miss Nanita Bobadilla Reyes. Good afternoon po.
Ma'am Nanita, how are you?
From Miss Adreline Samulde. Good afternoon, Doc Anna.
Adreline, hi. Good afternoon.
From Miss Punsalanger Gem. Hi, po, Doktora.
Hi, Ma'am. Hi. I hope you learned about the biopsy, okay?
From Miss Vicky Batalya. Hi po, Doktora. Good day.
Hi.
Stay safe.
Hi, Ma'am Vicky.
From Miss Clyde Gillian. Ma'am, good PM po. Regards kay Bukekek.
That's the eye of bench.
From Miss Nanita Bobadilla Reyes. Nanay ko po at ako po na biopsy. Yung nakuha sa amin after ng gallbladder operation.
Pwede naman po. Ay, ito lang Ito lang. Technically po, for example, tinanggal nila po yung for example, na-opera na kayo, may nakita po sila, usually po, though there are open biopsies, surgical biopsy, pero like for example, kay ma'am, tinanggal po yung kanyang gallbladder, then pinadala po yung gallbladder or yung to the lab. Ano po yun it's not technically called a biopsy, yun po yung specimen. Kasi yun po yung linabas ng surgery. So it's called a specimen. titingnan po talaga, but it's the same laboratory, sa pathology rin po yon. Titingnan po yung gross, yung labas, puputulin, tapos titingnan po talaga under the microscope. So it's not technically be a biopsy, it's more, linabas po yung specimen, tapos tiningnan. Yun po yun. But actually, it could be a form of an open biopsy. Tama rin naman. Meron ho ba kayong story na kayo po ay na-biopsy tapos nervous na kayo, yung pala hindi siya cancer? Ayun. Then we have to thank the Lord for that.
From Miss Joan Baluyot Balatbat, katatapos lang Doc no Friday, biopsy breast lump.
O yan, those are biopsies. Yan ang mga very common biopsy po talaga yan. I'm hoping that it will turn out to be okay.
From Miss Cheat G. Gomez, hi Doktora Ana.
Hi Ma'am Cheat.
From Miss Josephine Tolentino, magandang hapon po Doktora.
Josephine, kumusta ka?
From Miss Vicky Batala, Doktora, ano po ba ang difference ng cyst and mass? Thanks po. Maganda po yung question.
Magandang tanong yan.
Ang daming tumatawag. Ko, manood muna kayo ng live. Wait lang, aayusin po natin. Sorry guys, what's the difference between a cyst and a mass? Okay, ang mass po, yun ang unang pong kinakapa. Okay? So the mass, or tumor, or bukol, yun po yun, that's the mass. Let's say may nakapa ka, or may nakita po sila, no? The mass could either be solid or liquid. Okay? Pag solid po siya, that gives a stronger that it could be cancer. Pero hindi pa naman po siguradong totally. A cyst po is a mass filled with liquid. So pero again there can be cancerous I could say na pero almost the cyst likely po it is not cancer. Very likely po the cyst is not cancer. Sometimes pag may fluid po, when that fluid becomes pus, and infection na po yun, then that is what we call an abscess. A-B-C-E-S-S. Abscess. Okay? So, what is a cyst? It is a mass filled with fluid. Where are the cysts? May renal cyst, may lung cyst, may breast cyst, ganun po. Okay?
From Miss Nenita Bobadilla Reyes, after operation ng nanay ko sa gallbladder at na-biopsy po, nakita na may cancer pala nanay ko and it's too late na pala.
Oh no. Well, yes, tama yun. Mama, I'm sorry to hear this. You are correct po. As I mentioned po, the biopsy po, it can tell us the staging. We can be stage 1, which is hindi pa kalat, dito lang, to stage 4, yun po yung sinasabi nilang huli na po ang lahat. That is usually what we call stage 4. Ang meaning po nun, kalat na po. Yes, we can see stage 4 from a biopsy. How do we know that? Okay, let's go. Ito, kwento For example, meron kang breast mass. Alam mo, may breast CA ka. Okay? So, pinabiopsy mo ngayon si breast mass. Sa pag-work up po ni doktor, nakita po ni doc na meron din po kayong mga bukol sa atay. So, dalawa na yung bukol mo, yung sa breast at sa atay. So, pinabiopsy na si breast mass. Pagtingin nila, yes, breast cancer. So, babiopsihin naman, tutusukin din po yung atay. At malalaman po nila kung yung cancer po sa breast ay kumalat po at pumunta sa atay. So, kung kumalat po yung breast cancer and pumunta po sa atay, then that is what we call stage 4. Ang meaning po ng stage 4 is lumabas na po dun sa original po na pinanggalingan. In this case, it was the breast. And then it went to the liver. So ang tawag po nun is breast cancer with metastasis to the liver. You do not have 2 cancers, you have 1 cancer which has spread. And we found that out because we biopsied the breast and we biopsied the liver. Okay? Thanks, Ma'am Nenita. So staging talaga, biopsy can be used for staging.
From again, another subscriber, in Japan, I cannot read the Japanese character.
Hindi tayo Japanese, but okay.
Nakasubscribe na po ako, Doktora.
Yes, guys, please subscribe to our YouTube channel para dumami tsaka maganda po doon yung mga yung mga back episodes kasi ang dami. Nandun po. So you can really search po for the topics that you need to know about. Or halimbawa, biglang next month or the month after, biglang sinabi ni Doc, si mami mo kailangan ng biopsy. Oh my God, oh, gusto ko manood ng biopsy. Okay, go.
Watching from Japan with love.
Thank you.
Na-subscribe ko na po kayo, Doktora. Subscribe nyo din po ako, please. Salamat po. Meet
Okay.
Ayati.
Thank you.
From Miss Cora Gumpak. Good PM po, Doktora. May anesthesia po ba ang pag-biopsy sa mole sa mukha po?
Ma'am, if you are, usually yes. The answer is yes. Though some people po, mabilis lang naman ho yung punch biopsy sa skin, lalo na kung maliit lang, hindi na ho nagba-anesthesia. Kung nervyoso po kayo, definitely ask for anesthesia. Wala naman pong masama. And it can make you more relaxed po.
From Ms. Jason Alegria Silaran. Hi, Doc. Magandang hapon po. Kamusta po? Doc, may nakita po sa neck UTV ko. May 2 nodule daw po at thyroid enlargement this October 2020. Normal naman daw po yung TSH function ko. Medyo kinakabahan po ako kasi sabi sa akin, need daw po i-biopsy. Kaso doubt lang po ako magpunta sa hospital ngayon dahil sa pandemic kaya hindi ko po napapagawa. Hindi naman po ako binigyan ng gamot. Ask ko lang sana, Doc, if liliit po ba yung nodule sa sarili niya or pwede po bang galing ang nodule sa stress? Hindi naman po visible yung bukol at yung goiter ko.
Unfortunately po, stress doesn't cause masses. Not directly, okay? Though actually, people have shown that after a stressful year, people can develop cancer. Pero hindi naman ho siya talaga directly linked, okay? Though, halimbawa, death of a spouse is usually followed by cancer. Kasi po, but not directly talaga. Though people do say that death of a spouse can cause cancer po or a very stressful event. So, ang advice ko po sa inyo ay ganito, do not wait po. Kung talaga matagal na po yung bukol nyo, hindi na po yung maaalis by itself. And it's time to take action. Kung natatakot po kayo about COVID in the hospital, magpa-telemedicine na lang ho muna kayo. And kung talagang kailangan po ng biopsy, kailangan po talaga ng biopsy. And delaying a biopsy, eto lang kung talagang sinabihan na po kayo na kailangan nyo po ng biopsy, natatakot po kayo magpa-biopsy, pilitin nyo ho na makayanan nyo kasi the situation po will get worse kung lumaki pa po yung bukol. Okay? So pag sinabihan na po talaga kayo magpa-biopsy kayo.
Okay. From Miss Daisy Agkawili Jacinto. Thank you po, Doktora.
Thank you, Daisy.
From Miss Reg Frejas. Di nakakatakot yung biopsy pag ikaw ang nag-explain, Doktora.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Reg. I try to explain so that, kasi the doctor, di ba, usually pag nag-explain, nagmamadali pa, dami pang pasyente, ang hirap eh. Tsaka nakakahiya naman to ask, ano ho yung biopsy? Baka masabihan ka, hindi mo alam yung biopsy, nakaka-hurt di ba? Tsaka nakaka-intimidate. Pero mga doctors, please remember that patients are not doctors. They don't know. So you have to explain it to them talaga. You have to explain it talaga. Ito lang ang ganda ng pagkasabi niya nga ni Ma'am Reg. Kasi I asked a patient, natatakot ho ba kayong magpa-biopsy? This is such a beautiful quote and a story. Tinanong ko po yung pasyente, natatakot po ba kayong magpa-biopsy? Alam mo, sabi niya sa akin, Doktora, I am not afraid of the biopsy procedure. Kahit bubuksan pa ho ako, that's fine. I'm sure naman, magkakaroon naman po ng anesthesia, kaya naman ginawa ng Panginoon ng anesthesiologist, okay? Ang kinatatakot ko lang po ay ang magiging resulta ng aking biopsy. Ang ganda, no, Reyna?
Yes po. Alright.
So, don't be afraid of the procedure, but actually, most people are more afraid of the results. But it could be a good result, okay? May hope pa. You might ask me, Doktora, meron na ho ba kayong napabiopsy na akala nyo na po talaga cancer, pero it turned out to be good news? Kasi people ask me that eh. Sabi ko, yes, I have seen patients na akala ko talaga, I could have sworn po talaga on the Bible na cancer po yon, lalo na sa baga. Pagturok po nila, TB. Oh. So, hindi naman maganda yung may TB, no? But at least may gamot na may TB imbes na cancer. Ayun po. So, may hope. There's hope. There's hope. I've seen a lot of people na akala po namin cancer. Pag turok, hindi. Okay? May pag-asa.
From Mr. Coral Junior Rodolfo. Hello po, Dr. Ana.
Sir Rodolfo, how are you?
Miss Corazon Rafanan Espejo. Hi po, Doktora. Kamusta po kayo? Stay safe po.
Kayo rin, ma'am. Everybody stay safe, guys. Lalo na't nandito na yung UK variant, okay? What to do? How to stay safe? Mask, face shield, social distancing. Yun pa rin yun. Wala nang ibang sikreto.
From from Miss Carla Marie. Thank you, Doc, sa mga learnings. And thank you also for helping us out when my father-in-law was diagnosed with lymphoma cancer.
Yun na nga. Alala ko yung kwento. Tumawag sa akin si Carla Marie. I was able to talk to her. And in-advise ko po siya about her father-in-law. So yun na yun. No more questions? Meron pa.
From Miss Elaine Joy Navarro. Hello, Dr. Ana, watching from Florida. Daughter of Alvin Navarro po.
Ay, kumusta na? Namimiss ko si Sir Alvin. Thanks, Elaine Joy. I hope you learned something about biopsy. Mahal ko yung daddy ni Elaine Joy.
From Miss Nenita Bobitilia Reyes, yung sa aking biopsy naman po, after removal of gallbladder, thank God that wala namang nakitang problema.
Yes, that is good. I am glad.
From Mr. Kim Christian Manabat, good PM po, Doc Ana. Musta po? Watching from Tabuyok, Apalit, Pampanga.
Thanks, Mr. Kim Christian. Thank you very much. Opo. I hope you learned about biopsy.
From Miss Mary Ann F.A. Mabuti. Good afternoon po, Dr. Ana.
Mary Ann, how are you? Magandang hapon po.
From Miss Maria Gina Bahilio, Gundao, Tanza. Hello, Dr. Ana. Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon, Mom.
From Miss Laling Tagoko. Hello po, Doc. Ano po best remedy sa short breathing dahil sa acid reflux po?
Ma'am, siguro I think we need to control your reflux. Ways po to control reflux po talaga. Ang reflux yung babalik po yung acido dito eh. Usually there is a sphincter. Ano ba yon? How do we say sphincter? There is a barrier between your stomach and your esophagus. When we have acid reflux na bumabalik yung acid, hindi po napapigilan ng barrier na yon. So, the best way po talaga, first of all, dapat magpatingin kung talagang malaking problema na, and the home remedies do not work. The home remedies po, avoid yung ating pong tinatawag na foods that cause acidity. Notably, citrus, orange, suha, coffee also causes that. Soft drinks and carbonated drinks po are, grapefruit also not good. Number 2 po, to avoid acid reflux, try to put time po between the time that you sleep and the time that you last ate para bumabaho yung pagkain and that you can digest it well. Okay? And then the third po, sometimes people sleep, and my mom used to do this, sleep po with the head of the bed elevated. Nakaangat po yung ulo nyo para the force of gravity will push the acid down. Okay? Mahirap mag-antay baliktad yung punta ng acid. So yun lang po. I could suggest those. Try that, ma'am.
From Miss Marianne F.A. Mabuti, Doctora, may I ask, how can you tell a lump is cancerous po?
Mama, that is a most excellent question. And I said this already. You cannot tell by looking and you cannot tell by feeling. Though you have a feeling. Ano ba yun? You cannot tell by feeling. Hindi na po nakakapa. Like, wala pong hindi po talaga magician si Doc or manghuhula. Kakapay niya. For example, lalagay ito sa sarado yung mata, cancer. Hindi po ganon, okay guys? There are qualities of a mass that make it seem more cancerous than others. Number 1 po, binanggit na po na Miss Reyna, kung matigas po talaga. Matigas. Kung talagang matigas, kung hindi po masakit. Usually, pag masakit, infection eh. But it can happen na masakit, cancer din. Pero yung non-painful, mas worrisome. Number 3 po, yung hindi mo po ma-move like lymph nodes, problem. Number 4 po, kung lumalaki. and it's growing fast or slow or fast. Basta hindi siya dapat lumaki. Okay? Number 5, ano po kung bago lang po. It's really something that needs to be investigated. You can never tell by looking and you can never tell only by feeling. And that is why you need to have a biopsy. Ayun po. Please do not believe people nakakapa-cancer yon. Walang ganon. Walang ganon. People can tell you likely po or high probability or dapat po kayo magpa-biopsy para malaman po natin kung cancer po o hindi. Tama po yung statement na yun. But if someone will make kapa and say, cancer yan, walang ganon, okay? And don't believe that like atakihin ka na doon right on the spot. No, there are many pa possibilities, not only cancer, sa isa pong bukol. Okay?
From Miss Laling Taguco, hello po, Doc.
Hi, Ma'am.
From Mr. Glenson Loyola, good evening, Doc.
Hi, Glenson.
From Miss Paige Rihanna, good evening, Doc Anna.
Paige, how are you? Thanks for joining us. I hope you like the topic.
From Miss Marie Marquez, saan pong doktor pwedeng magpatingin? Tagliyawat po sa side ng face ko sa may ear. Naging matigas at umumbok, pero may black sa gitna. Need po ba ng biopsy yon? Ano pong doktor po ang kailangan doon? Sa derma po ba at sa mga bukol? Saan doktor po dapat magpatingin? Thank you po.
That's also a very good question, ma'am. Sa inyo, the way you're describing it, it looks like a dermatologic problem. Ngayon, kung marunong naman po yung derma, if it looks cancerous, gagawa po siya ng paraan. So, you will be referred to a surgeon. Most biopsies po will be referred, who is the one who will do the biopsy? Ang ganda ng tanong, ano? Usually, pag general masses po, it's a surgeon. Pero for example, lung, usually, ano po yun, pulmo, kung colon po, gastro, kung kidney po, usually nephrologist, may ano ho. Pero yung general mass po, maganda na po mostly surgeon. So, go to a derma, ma'am. Kung nakikita niyang hindi siya derma problem, papupuntahin naman po kayo sa tamang doktor. Okay?
From Miss Laling Taguco, pwede po ba magtanong, Doc, not related to biopsy po? Ano po best remedy ng... nasagot na po natin to kanina.
Ay, ano ba? I think really, no, natatawa, hindi, not ano ba sa inyo, but really, it's very common pala. Ang dami pong nagtatanong, ma'am. You are not the only one. You know, maybe we really should discuss this because it looks like a very big problem.
We really need Doc June.
Oo, so dami lang ho talaga nagtanong about acid reflux. Parang problema talaga po eh. So, ma'am, sa na-advise ko na po, but again, avoid citrus, coffee, carbonated drinks. Put 2 hours before the time that you last ate and try to elevate your head po pag natutulog. Again, I would like, thank you, Ma'am Laling. Ito lang if you try all of this and it's not getting better and it's getting worse, you need to be seen kasi baka kailangan nyo po ng endoscopy. And then there's also a trial, sorry. For GERD, there's also a trial po of medication na bibigay po sa inyo ng doktor. Okay?
From Miss Lerma Torres, hello po. Dr. Ana, musta na po kayo from Bahay, Pare, Candaba, Pampanga?
Hi, Ma'am Lerma. How are you? And I hope that you're okay.
From Miss Elaine Joy Navarro. Thank you, Dr. Ana. Very informative po. Salamat po sa lahat.
Thanks, Ma'am Elaine. You know, Reina, biopsy is so common, but sometimes when the doctor tells you, kailangan mong magpa-biopsy, nahimatay ka na, hindi ka na makaisip. So guys, I would like to say, a biopsy is not a bad thing. Okay? Kasi nakakatakot nga yung resulta, but sometimes hindi naman, it's not cancer, nagagawa naman po natin ng paraan. So that's why we should have a biopsy.
Yes. From... Next, okay. Dali lang po. From Miss Carla Marie, ayan. Hi, Doktora, what are your thoughts on essential oils that other cancer patients use?
Kung bibili kayo ng essential oils, Reina Sunyega.
I'm here. I-message nyo lang po kami sa Dr.
Message mo si Ma'am Carla. Ito lang ma'am, there is no science that says it helps. Pero, ito naman ang sasabihin ko naman. If it makes you happy, kung nare-relax po kayo, kasi nakakatensyon ho mag-cancer, undergo chemotherapy. It will not help your cancer directly. Wala pong study na ganon. But, kung ikaliligaya nyo naman, you feel relaxed pag nalalangkap nyo po yun, parang feeling nyo zen ang dating nyo, wala naman pong masama, di ba? At may extra money naman ho kayo na hindi nyo po gagamitin sa chemotherapy at hindi naman po salat. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, kung imbes na bumili ka ng chemo, bumili ka ng essential oil, mali naman yon. But if you just have extra money and you want to relax yourself, there is nothing wrong. O yan. Miss Reyna Zuniga, please add to that.
Yes. Mag-message lang po kayo kahit dito sa Dr. Ana York. Makikita po natin.
So, that's what I could say. There is no direct evidence, but if it makes you relaxed, then it can help you. Yun lang.
From Miss Maria Gina Bahilio Gundao, Tanza. Dr. Ana, meron po akong lump sa middle finger. Akala ko po ay kalyo.
Ma'am, patingin nyo na lang. I can't comment on that. Baka naman kalyo, ma'am. Baka naman who joined. I cannot, mahirap. There are some things that I can't answer unless I see it at kapain. So you need to see a doctor po. Telemedicine kayo, ma'am.
Doc, ma-share ko lang ha.
Oh.
Yung pidya ng babies ko ni Aki and Andy just went here kaninang 1 o'clock for their timely check-up. Ganun na yung pinapagawa namin, home visit na lang, and then yung mga vaccines, home visit na lang din. Mai-share ko lang, guys. I would just like to agree and add on what Doktora said. Napakahirap. This is coming from her. Kinamusta ko siya. Kamusta ka, Doc? I guess you lost weight, sabi ko sa kanya. And she said, napakahirap sa larangan ng medisina na mag-teleconsult. They really need to see you. They really need to hear your heartbeat. They really need to touch your skin. Kung ano po yung nirereklamo nyo, they need to inspect your eyes, ears, nose, mouth. They really need to do that. So, napaka-challenging daw po. Kasi tinanong ko siya, mas madali ba ngayon kasi you're working from home and then teleconsulting? Doon mo makikita yung serbisyo ng mga doktor. Like what you're saying, Doktora, hindi siya satisfied minsan kasi parang feeling niya may kulang. Diba? You always say that here sa ating mga...
hindi talaga lahat nasasagot ng telemedicine. Pero at least masasalak naman niya yung nasasagot niya. So, konti na lang yung pupunta ng hospital, diba?
Yes.
It's not perfect. It's far from perfect.
Yes. So, yun lang. So, I would just like to add on what Doktora is saying na talagang kailangan makita po kayo ng doktor nyo. Kasi po mahirap po na nag-uusap lang tayo dito sa chat.
Mas mali pa yung masabi ko. Opo.
Pero again, the reason why Doktora Ana York is here is for her to answer the general question at yung mga advice at maliwanagan po kayo kung ano po yung mga dapat nyong gawin sa hindi. Yun lang.
Nobody will tell you, give you a lecture on biopsy. Busy si doktor, no? Tsaka hindi mo kayang bayaran lahat ng oras niya. Ako lang yung walang trabaho, kaya pwede tayong dumakdak about biopsy for 1 hour.
This is public service. Indeed, Doktora. So, from Ms. Rosaline Ilaban, hi po, Doc. Tanong ko lang po, na pag nagpa-chemo po, pag may cancer, may posibilidad po na gagaling ang may cancer?
Possible. Possible po. There are breast is very chemo-responsive. There are a lot of diseases. Yung ating pong iniisip dati na masama pong magpa-chemo, na mas mamamatay po dahil sa chemo, makaluma na po yun. There are so many new drugs, affordable, safe, easy to take, na humahaba po ang buhay ng tao. So, if you were advised to take chemo, take it, pag-usapan niyo mabuti. Pag-usapan niyo pong mabuti.
From Miss Lanlan M. Messia, hi Doc.
Hi Lanlan.
From Miss Maria Gina Bahilio Gundao, Tanza. Nagalaw naman po at hindi masakit. This is referring to her bukol sa middle finger na akala po niya kalyo. Saan ko po ito pa-check up? Salamat po, Doktora Ana.
Siguro internal medicine, patingin mo muna. And I'm thinking about joints also. Baka po joint issue yan. Internal medicine would be a good place to start po. Internal medicine naman is the place to start for everyone eh.
From Miss Rosemary Lyson. Hi, Doc. Good afternoon. God bless po.
Hi, Rosemary. How are you? Thank you.
From Mr. Almin Emerito. Magandang gabi po, Madam.
Hi, Almin. Magandang gabi din.
From Mr. Lanlan M. Messia. Doc, masama po ba madalas gumamit ng inhaler na steroid?
It depends. If you need it, then you have to use it. Kung hindi nyo naman kinailangan at tapos na ho, matagal na, 3 years na ho kayo nagkikita ng doktor, bumibili pa rin kayo, you need to be re-evaluated po. Ayan.
And lastly, from Miss Laling Taguco, tinag po niya si Misty Carls Bayan. You have to watch this. That's all for today, Dr.
So to everyone, ito po, I'd like to invite everyone on the 18th, we have a special guest. Our topic po is, bakit po nabubulag ang mga may diabetes? Ganda, no? Rina, what do you think?
Ay,
Beautiful
napakaganda.
topic.
Yes, yes. Napakaganda.
Bakit nabubulag ang mga may diabetes? We are fortunate to be joined by a very young ophthalmologist. He is from the University of the Philippines. He is not only an ophthalmologist, but he is a retina specialist. Okay? So, meron hong mga opta sa mata. Ito po, lumalim pa yung kanyang pinag-aralan and he's a retina specialist. Batang-bata pa po. His name is Dr. Nicolo Angeles. He'll be joining us po on Monday for diabetic retinopathy. O bakit po nabubulag ang mga may diabetes? So, that's 4 o'clock p.m. po on December 18, Monday. I would like to invite everyone po on gusto ko pa ng December, no? On January 16 po, at 10 o'clock in the morning, I think that's a Saturday, I will be joined, tama ba yun? Is that a Saturday? Wait, I'm just checking po. Yes, I think it's a Saturday po. I'll be joining Crossroads 2021 with the Tau Mu fraternity po. I'll be talking on managing the millennial MD or how I became a social media phenomena. Hindi, biro lang. Or my career po in medicine and how it can guide other younger doctors. So sa inyo po lahat, thank you so much for joining us. Our word of the day, biopsy. Maraming salamat po. Thank you, Miss Reina. Take care. Stay safe.